Well, hello everyone. How are you? I hope you are doing well. This is going to be kind of a vloggy blah blah and just kind of some updates, a little storytelling while I open my most current TheraBox. I enjoy getting this little TheraBox, and this is not sponsored or anything like that. It's just something I get that I like because there are some nice self-care things in there. I have not peeked into this, so I have no idea what's in here. And I just thought I'd open it while I chat with you about some things and some thoughts that came into my mind over these past few days. And particularly, I made that post in the community page about the Queen and Queen Elizabeth II passing, and I realize something like that could be controversial, and I don't want this channel to be controversial. I want it to be peaceful. I realize we all have different thoughts and opinions and sides, but at the end of the day, and at the end of our lives, what matters is, I think, feeling that we gave love, that we received love, and little I'm rights, you're wrongs won't matter. So I'm not going to discuss that too much, and everyone is entitled to how they feel. And I feel a particular way, and it's my channel, so that's why I posted that. Do I know everything about it? No. But one thing I do know is this, and I would bet you dollars to donuts that most of us, if not all of us, have people in our family on all sides of a spectrum, a belief system, religious system, political system, all manners of thoughts. And I would also bet, if you're a little older, that you've had various thoughts and stands on things politically, religiously, socially. We don't typically feel one thing at 20 and the same thing at 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 or 70. Life changes us. Life opens our eyes. Sometimes pushes us one way and then back another, and then sometimes in the middle. And so, or we have members of our family, someone over here who feels strongly this way, and someone over here who feels strongly that way. And what I care about is that we treat each other with kindness, respect, and, a space to just be okay. I'm not going to try to push my feelings onto you, except good, tingly ones if possible. And I don't want anyone coming here trying to change anybody's mind about anything. We all learn various lessons throughout our walk in life. And, we all learn them at different times. I can't say we were right or we were wrong. It's just experience. We're just here to live another day, do our best, spread joy, light, and love where we can, and possibly spread some tingles, some comfort, that's what I want this channel to be. So, anyway, there was one person, if somebody got ugly, I just deleted the comment because I don't have time to address it. Part of the mother in me wants to do that kind of a thing. When I was a kid, I swore up and down that I would never give my kids the answer when they asked, but why? I promised myself I would never say because I said so or because I'm the mom. But guess what? I relied on that a lot. Because I said so, because I'm the mom. As a mom, there were times where I was patient and I would listen and we would have dialogue. And then there were other times it's, no, this is not up for discussion. Go to your room, go stand in the corner, whatever it was. And so, but there was one fellow who was starting some dialogue about why he felt a different way. And I thought, I could just delete it. I could do the because I said so, I'm the mom, go to your room. Or I could just ask nicely to not discuss that here. And that's what I did. I said, how about let's not debate that here, friend. And I got a very respectful answer back. And I really appreciated that. He agreed, okay, that's okay. And I just, I'm not changing his mind. He's not changing mine or anyone else's. It's just okay to feel how you feel and leave it at that. I'm not going to try to change anything. And I think in light of today's fast-moving information, systems over the airwaves and, 24/7 news, it's instant. We've got this barrage of information at all times. And it's easy to find support for what we believe in, whatever that is. Flat Earth, you can find support out there. You can find statistics. You can find anything you want that will support you in whatever it is you believe. So, I just don't care. We're not going to do it here on this channel. We're not going to have any long-term discussion on what it should be or shouldn't be in society, politically, religiously. Everyone is okay here. Everyone is safe here. And I appreciate all of your positive energy. I've had some really great information about trolls and bots. I was actually responding to a couple of bots and didn't even know it, and somebody out there told me, thank you, whoever you were. And, I'm learning. So let's just stay in the light. Let's just focus on the rainbows and unicorns and the things that are good and safe in this world. Because we can find the darkness, we can find ugliness, we can find hatred, we can find one-sidedness. That's all around us, and I won't have any of that here because I said so. And I will send you to your room if you disagree because I'm the mom. So, anyway, with that little soapbox lecture off my chest, I'll go ahead and start opening this. I've had this for, probably about a week now. Hopefully I don't make too many spastic loud sounds. So let's take out the first thing. sure you can see it. It is a 100% silk satin pillowcase. And I actually have two. And every week when we change the sheets, I take one off and put the other on. And it does help with not waking up with, I sleep on my left side. And without the silk pillowcase, I wake up, my face kind of looking like that. So here's one more. And it's kind of in a beautiful bone ecru colored. Oh. So this helps with wrinkles, is the long and short of it. And also the face mask. Silk. Fantastic. I like that. All you gals of a certain age, this is a recommendation of mine. Are these silk satiny pillowcases. Honestly, there isn't a room in this house that I just don't get cat hair all over me. Another update is a week ago, just about a week ago, I made a cup of tea to bring in here while I was making my video. I set that cup of tea down somewhere, and I have yet to find it. I have looked all over this house. I keep looking at various shelves, horizontal surfaces, and I cannot find it for the life of me. It's in a cup, just like this. A Glacier National Park cup. And it's missing. I have two of these that we bought at Glacier. And I have a cup of tea that is probably growing, a thick surface right now. And it will probably begin molding very soon. I have no idea where it could be. Just thought I'd give you an update on that, as several of you actually asked me about my cup of tea. It's gone. Many years ago, starting in the 90s, when my grandmother, the mean one, was still alive, she was very good about genealogy and writing down, because we didn't have Ancestry.com or those, 23andMe things. And she had a lot written down, and she really started my kind of my foray into doing genealogy. And so I've done it over the years, and even going through it with her, I was pointing out some of the names and places, and we're basically English, Irish, and German. And in the English line, there are a lot of titles. Yes, I know who I look like. That is not news to me. And so there are lots of ladies and lords, dukes and duchesses and sirs, and then in the German side, there are also many titles. Von, V-O-N, is kind of a way to, that denotes, royalty, not royalty, but like noble names. And so we have a lot of von this, von that in my German line. And then in the Irish side, one time I was sitting there with my grandmother, kind of oh, wow, look at us, look at our family, blah, blah, blah. About various aspects of our genealogy, the German side, the English side, and then we got to the Irish side. And she said, Lass, I'm going to tell you something. There are two kinds of Irish. There's the smart Irish and the dumb Irish. And you got a healthy dose of both. And I thought, okay, that's a good one. And so throughout the last few decades, when I've pulled a real dumb move, I'll say, well, that was the dumb Irish in me. And it's just been interesting looking into, my history, my lineage, finding things out. Great stories. Oh my gosh, amazing stories. And I would say particularly in my Irish history because, there's been the North and the South, and I've got both, both Irish. And I look also at the strength of our ancestors, particularly during various migrations. For instance, the English and, during the plague coming over here in the mid-1600s, 1660s, 1670s. I thought and then out of Ireland, the mass migration in the 1800s, the potato blights and lack of jobs and, just the fortitude that people found within themselves to go look for a life somewhere, a better life, and come here and do it. So that's a little blah, blah, blah. What else is in here? This is this is botanical bath and body oil. Let's see if I'm saying this right in French. Huile botanique bain et corps. Oh my goodness, look at this. I can't wait to try this. You put 2 or 3 drops directly into a hot bath. You can use it as a massage or moisturizing oil. And and it's got, let's see, lavender and eucalyptus. Oh, I'm looking forward to trying that. Hyaluronic acid age recovery night cream. So I'm getting a lot of requests for skincare and makeup, and perhaps I'll do that. I'm kind of thinking about that and how I would do it. But so age recovery. So if I come back on looking, 30, 35 years old, you'll know this worked. Okay, the next thing, it says David's Premium Natural Toothpaste. I don't know, it's very faint. I don't know if the camera would pick that up. Okay, so I have to open it. Let's see. That's interesting. This flavor reminds me of what toothpaste was like in the, say, 60s. I don't know why that came up for me. I'll try it. Okay, the next is sleep in a strip. I don't know what this is. Let's open this up and see what's in it. Oh, okay. So it is a little strip. I'm going to open it for you to see. And it's got melatonin, valerian root, vitamin B6, and L-theanine, or theanine. Oh, I guess you just put this under your tongue. It's only 11:30 in the morning, so I'm not going to do it now. I don't need to sleep during the day. And then sleep well, well-being ritual balm. Bedtime. It's, let's see, awake well-rested by embracing this nightly bedtime ritual to help you drift off into restful sleep. So it's basically just kind of a cream or balm. Oh, here we go. Ah, interesting. It's a stick. Oh, it smells so good. Oh, that smells lovely. Avoid contact with eyes and lips. I'm glad I read that. And then, let's see, last is a dream mist spray. Let's see how this smells. Let me show this to you. Okay. That's really nice. I will spray this on my satin silk pillowcase. That smells really nice. Let's see what's in it. Let's see here. Oh, it is a pillow spray, but you know what? The writing is so small. I can't see it, even with my glasses on. So I'm sure there's lavender and, this is the tiniest writing I've ever seen on anything. Maybe it's in here. It comes with a book, a little pamphlet. Let's see. Pillow spray. Here we go. Here's what it says. Sleep is the ultimate beauty and wellness hack. And that's true. Kanu's Dream Mist is made with a sprinkle of Sandman's Magic, infused with therapeutic grade essential oils. This pillow spray blends lavender, chamomile, vetiver together to relieve anxiety, improve sleep, and encourage feelings of calm. Okay. Very nice. I will use that. And there's something on the bottom. sleep journal. I did a video on that a couple months ago on keeping a sleep journal. And I really do believe in that, because looking back is really interesting to see not only what your thoughts and feelings were, what your dreams were, but what your sleep patterns were. And I think I mentioned this quite a while ago. When I was in, I think it was high school, I kept a dream journal. And the minute I woke up, I reached for this little pad and I wrote down just a few thoughts about what I was dreaming, what I could remember. And just a few sentences. I would write down as much as I could remember, but sometimes, even as you would think about it, it would disappear. Well, here's the interesting thing about that. Looking back over that journal years and years later when I found it, I could actually remember some of those dreams or pieces of those dreams just by reading a few sentences of what they were about. So, to me, the brain is just so amazing in the things it does hold on to and the memories it keeps that you don't even know. So, I would say, definitely use a sleep journal, a dream journal, and it's fun to look back on. I've had some great suggestions for licorice, for teas, licorice tea. We actually use a licorice tea by Stash. I don't care for that as much as I just like good old black licorice. And this is a funny story, I think. Someone asked me if I knew about blackjack gum. It's like a licorice gum. And yes, I do. I remember that from the 60s when we used to get our weekly allowance. We started off getting, I think, 10 cents every Saturday morning after all our chores were done. And we were little, and then as we got a little older, we started getting 25 cents. That was a lot of money. That could buy a lot of candy. And so we would walk to one of two places to go spend our wealth. One was a Ben Franklin department store, and the other was a 7-Eleven, or what we called a Speedy Mart. And so the difference between the two is the Ben Franklin had lots and lots of things besides just candy that were fun to look at and roam around. It was a big store, and so we just loved it. And but the problem is it was hard to get to because we either had to cut through an orchard where there was supposed to be no trespassing, or we had to walk all the way around, which added probably a mile. And as kids, it was no big deal for us to take off and just head miles away. So, very often, we decided to cut through the orchard. Well, this was Farmer Joe's orchard. I don't know if his name was Farmer Joe, but that's what we called him. And he was an old guy. And the thing about this is, if he caught you in his orchard, he had a gun of rock salt, a rock salt gun. And it looked like a huge shotgun to us kids, but it was probably something smaller caliber, but it shot rock salt. And he would make no bones about it. He would shoot your butt. And my brother actually got shot once in his butt and legs, and it made holes in his jeans, in his little dungarees. And I remember we went home, we ran home, And my mom and dad, we showed them, they just said, look, those are the consequences of cutting through his orchard. Don't do it. And that was that. He wasn't, no one called the police. He wasn't brought before a court and thrown into jail and the key thrown away as a violent man. It's just what the kids knew. Stay out of his orchard or you'll get shot with a rock salt. Times are so different now, aren't they? So anyway, we knew the consequences were getting shot with rock salt. So if there were a bunch of us kids going to Ben Franklin and we decided to go through the orchard, we knew it was risky because not everybody could hide behind a tree when we saw him coming. If it was just my brother and I, we kind of figured out how to hide from him and then run like the devil so he couldn't catch us. He was an old guy, so he couldn't catch us if we ran. But if we had a lot of kids with us, it was just, it was more chaotic. So often if we did go through Farmer Joe's orchard, it would be just my brother and I. And I tell you, that is one of my fondest memories, is that fear, that excitement, that, that decision to let's go do something really dangerous. And we had such a fun time. And, so we'd get there, we'd do our shopping, and then it was that decision, do we go through Farmer Joe's orchard again? And if we could see him at the far end, then we knew we could, let's go to that end and cut through. Anyway, I loved blackjack gum. I loved it so much that one day, when I ran out of my allowance money, we decided to go to the 7-Eleven and, maybe exchange a couple of glass bottles, and get a nickel and see what we could buy. Well, we didn't have many glass bottles, but we decided to let's just go see what we can do and pool our money and buy some kind of candy and, So my brother and I decided on, I can't remember what candy it was. Well, I wanted blackjack gum, and my brother said no. He wasn't going to go in on that. So I thought, okay, I'm going to steal it. So I put it in my pocket, and we left. And I got away with it. I got out of the store. Well, I was home, and we had our candy, our piece of candy out, and then I pulled out my blackjack gum out of my pocket, and I popped that into my mouth. And I don't know, I think parents have radar. And my mom said, where'd you get that? And I said, 7-Eleven, Speedy Mart. Ah, how'd you pay for it? I turned in a bottle. Oh, really? And I guess she just looked at me and knew I was just bold-faced liar. And I think she saw in my brother's face, too, that he knew better. So my mother put me in the car. She hauled me back there, made me get out and take all 4 pieces in the package remaining and tell the owner of the store that I was a thief and I stole his gum and turn it back in. I was so humiliated. I just wanted to die. So, okay, lesson learned, right? And by the way, I did not get my next week's allowance either. So, yeah, I really paid big time. Well, that didn't quite end my criminal history. My father took me to what was called the James Lick Market, which was in San Jose, Eastside San Jose. And he was buying something, and I saw a Gumby that I wanted. The green Gumby. And my father said no. I hadn't done anything, to really kind of earn that. And just because we wanted something did not mean we got it. So I was a little put out by that. So I stole it. I put it in my pocket. And given the thick hard-headed criminal I was at the time, I decided not to sit in the front seat with my father on the way back. I sat in the back seat. But I couldn't wait to get home to open it, so I started opening it and making, the noise. So he looks in his rearview mirror and he says, what you got there, Jeannie? And nothing. And so he pulls over and he turns around and he sees me with the Gumby. He turns the car back around and he drives back to the market, makes me get out of the car, marches me up to the owner of the store and tells him his daughter was thieving and stole a Gumby. So I got caught again, got grounded, got my allowance confiscated, and I really started to rethink my criminal career. I just didn't, I just couldn't manage to get out of my own way. So I think that was the last time I stole something. Now, when we were a little bit older, my brother and I had dirt bikes. We had horses as well, but the dirt bikes were really fun because we had tracks all around these orchards on the perimeters of them. And we could have, there were these long flat tracks and we could just go as fast as we wanted. Well, next to one of these tracks was a Bank of America bank. And so one time my brother and I stopped our bikes and we thought, how can we rob that bank? Maybe we could go in through the vents at the top and, he could lower me down and of course all the money would be there and I could just grab it all and he could pull me back up. And, so we started hatching a plan to rob the bank. I think we were 10. Well, my mom and dad caught wind of our grand plans to rob the bank. And, they had us sit down with us. And we had this long talk about integrity and honesty and my failed career thus far with, stealing and what the consequences would be if I got caught breaking into a bank. And so I think it was just a childhood fantasy, of course. We weren't bad kids. We were just, adventurous. So now that's some of the blah, blah, blah of one of my memories. So, as we had kids and things happened, like one time the grocery store down the road, I got a call from the manager and he had 2 of our girls in the office there with them and they had been pocketing makeup. And the thing about, that time frame was they had cameras back then and so the girls were on camera, pocketing stuff. And the girls didn't see, but, I laughed inwardly and, I remembered this and, they were appropriately punished, grounded, their allowances confiscated and, that kind of thing. And just some of the crazy, schemy things that kids come up with. I have to say, I admired creativity. I admired creative minds. Now, there are consequences to some of that creation, but sometimes the kids would come up with things that I just thought, wow, in my mind, that was a good one. You're grounded. In my mind, I think, though, God, that was really clever. So that's the kind of mom I was, We were firm, but understanding, because I have my memories of what I was like as a kid. And I have to say, my parents were very fair. They were very, they were honest and, righteous. And they would always hear us out most of the time when I wasn't getting the because I'm the mom or because I said so, go to your room. I always felt heard and understood most of the time. As teenagers, of course, you think you're alone, you think you're on an island, you think nobody understands you, and you think that nobody's as insecure as you are, when in fact, and I've had a few high schoolers, write to me, and I would bet you anything that most kids in high school feel just as awkward as you. They're just better at hiding it sometimes. But it'll be over with so soon. Try not to give it too much weight or meaning. It's an awkward stage. Just accept it. Yeah, there are kids who do really well and thrive, but I would say the majority of them feel awkward. They think people are talking about them or looking at them or judging them, when in fact they're afraid of it, themselves, the people you think are judging you, they're thinking the same things you are. So, just know it'll be over with quickly. And you have more of your life, more exciting things ahead of you than what you're in right now. Look to the future. So, anyway, I'm learning how to drink on camera without sounding super slurpy. Okay. Another little update is my husband is homesick with COVID. Yeah, he was heading out of the country yesterday, and he said, I've got a little cold, or, I'm feeling a little punky. And I thought, I don't know. I just had this weird feeling. He wasn't complaining much, but I said, let's test you. And we did, and sure enough, he was positive. I tested myself, and I'm not. So he's doing okay. He just feels like he's got a rotten cold. So I'm heading out to the pharmacy now to go pick him up some prescription the doctor ordered him. Plaxovid, I think it's called. Something like that. And, but we're doing well. The heat wave here has broken, thank God, because it was hot. It was so hot. We've got a fire going. It's called the mosquito fire. And it's causing some concern. I'm hoping with the cooler weather they can get a handle on it. So I'll show you a couple pictures there of that fire. And, it's disruptive. A lot of evacuations going around, in that area. And my heart hurts for the animals, the displaced animals, the hurt animals, the animals that are separated from their parents. And, I get really emotional about that. So, thank you all again for your lovely messages, your lovely comments, your lovely emails. And I really, really appreciate you. So I will sign off for now, and I hope this little vloggy blah blah gives you just a bit of some update and tingle, and there's really not a lot important in this. Little storytelling, and I bid you peace throughout your day. I bid you light and love and wellness, health and happiness, security, nurturing, safety. And finally, I bid you adieu. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.